Bray, do you remember the first race you ever went to?
There is one, it's on YouTube, it's like 2007, Kokomo. John was driving for my dad and Steve, and they won, and I'm in the video in Victory Lane, so I was there, but I don't remember it.
How old were you?
7.
Trevor, what was your first race?
My mom always told me, like when I was a baby, like we had a sleeper on our truck. Like she would put me in the sleeper. So I mean, I don't really remember that, but I was probably like 4 or 5 in Abilene. My dad was running modifieds, and I remember going to the races when he was running. So
Bloomington. USAC was running there.
Were you watching anybody in particular?
Yes. We went there to watch Tyler. It was cool. Yeah, because I'm used to, you know, the drag strip, so totally different.
I remember going to the heart of Texas, like I was like 8 or 9 when I moved to Waco. We had a spot right behind the flag stand. It was a gravel pit, and I was just bring a whole box of Hot Wheel cars, and there I was all night, just burning circles.
Probably about that same time. I do remember we always parked in the same spot at Kokomo because I had me a track in the grass. So we always parked there, then I could get out and play with all my cars.
There used to be a guy who made wooden sprint cars and sold them, like painted them like all the cars. So I got a wooden sprint car every week, and I had a bunch of those and playing with the wooden sprint cars. So I remember that. I remember going to Chico and Santa Maria, and Calistoga was our closest track. I remember going to all those places.
Hey Ronnie, do you remember your first race?
I do. Where was it? Brownstown, Indiana. Not until I was 13, I think.
Okay.
And then moved back to California. So like my first racing memories were here. It was Brownstown, Indiana. I remember I fell asleep during the feature. In the car my dad was working on, Brad Marble, ended up winning the race. And my mom woke me up to take me to Victory Lane.
Brett, where was your first race?
Well, my first race when I was really, really young. I used to go to the hardtop races at Vallejo Speedway with my dad when I was a little kid. I went when I was really young. My dad said I used to go when I was 2.
So that would have been 1960.
60. But I remember 62.
So like, what kind of safety precautions did they have back at those races?
They had a lap belt and some shoulder harnesses. That's about it.
Probably my dad lives up in Peru, Indiana, so I've been to Kokomo a bunch. Probably 10 or 11 years old. Probably okay. So not as early as these guys, but
you've been around it then.
Yeah, a little bit. All right.
So you went to Kokomo this weekend?
Yeah.
For the first time?
Yeah. My first sprint car race, so it was a lot of fun. The most surprising thing to me was how fast they could go around such a small track. Coming from like motorcycles, a quarter-mile track would be pretty slow, but these guys were just flying through the corners.
What about the food? Did you have any track food?
Oh yeah.
What kind of track food did you get?
Pork chop sandwich was pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah. Next time I'll bring a folding chair and some goggles.
I do have a lot of memories, like even before I was in kindergarten, going to races and like riding to the races. And I remember my dad's good friend Pat Hughes raced, and he worked on that car, and I remember staying in the stands with his wife and their daughters and collecting tear-offs. And I remember the first night I was old enough to go in the pits was prelim for a Gold Cup in Chico, and I remember there was a fight. Sean Fenn and Greg DeCaris fought in the pits. I believe it was Sean Fenn. I know it was Sean Fenn. I think it was Greg DeCaris. Fought in the pits. My first night in the pits. I'm like, this is awesome. This is what I've been missing out on my whole life.